Today I'm going to show you how to make a Reese bass like this. This is episode 5 in a series where we're creating a drum kit from scratch and taking you along the entire way. And the last episode, we took a look at how to create heavy 808s that sound good in any mix. And in today's episode, we're creating Reese bass. And don't forget to sign up for our limited sound drops. We're going to be dropping a bunch of Reese basses and different presets for Serum very soon. Fresh Serum 2 here. Let's grab the bass notes first. Here's the notes we're using, and you can see velocity is going to play into here as well. So we're going to put that into the patch we make. Awesome, there we go. So let's start by putting this down 3 octaves. So everything is starting on C3. I'm going to turn the randomization down for this one. And let's turn on the settings here because I want this width to be 0. So it's mono down the middle. And for this, let's go for like a sine wave. Let's take this analog BD sine. You can play with the different wave positions to get some different like saturated effects. It's very subtle, but if you even wanted to modulate that, there you go. We'll leave it right there for now. I'm going to turn the level up all the way. We're going to put this unison to 2 right here so that we can play with the D tune. Next, we're going to turn on oscillator B here. And I'm going to keep the randomization with this one on. For this, we can put it down -3, but I like to put this 1 octave higher. And then we'll bring up 7 semitones as well. We're going to bring the unison to 15 on this one. Let's put a little attack on this too. Let's go ahead and turn filter 1 on. We're going to do a notch. So let's put the LFO on the cutoff here. And then we can play with this LFO1 here to come up with some random results. We'll put this into envelope, but we're just going to make some different points in here. And once you got that, then start rounding some of these out a little bit differently, playing with the heights and adjusting these. Cool, and we can turn this rate down quite a bit here so it's going a little slower. Now we can find a cutoff range that we like. And you can play with this. You can have it be longer or shorter. Let's try this out. Let's turn on filter 2. And what I'm going to do for filter 2 is turn literally everything on here. And let's set this all to 0. We'll put the cutoff all the way out here. In fact, we don't need that. And we're going to put the velocity on this level. So these different notes are now going to affect the velocity, and you'll see how high it's hitting. And since we have every single one of these layers on, it's going to affect everything equally. In fact, we could even pull this back a little bit. Let's go and do the effects. And we'll put a distortion on here as well. You could even use any other distortion plugin you have if you don't like how this one sounds. But this one, it sounds pretty good. Let's play with this. And we can go back here and you can play with this level now to get how much of this you want to sit in there. Also, this sounds amazing with the width turned all the way up, but it sits even better in the beat, I think, if you turn it down maybe to like 80 or a little bit lower. In fact, I think I want to turn this chorus down a bit. Since we have this filter 1 here cutting out this different notch and bandpass, the saturator afterwards will make some cool effects with that. And now you can go back and play with the cutoff if you'd like as well, and find which spot you think sounds best. Let's change this to soft sine. I like this sitting right at about -6 dB, so we're going to put the main right around 60% here. We'll use the Avalon compressor here to get this sitting tight. And there's this dope Mike Dean preset right here, the 808 compression. It'll work great on basses as well. I'm going to put this at 4K, but you can play around with this. Depends on how much highs you want to let through. And you can take a little cut at 300, right around there. This is already sounding like a banger. Here's a couple other effects that you should take a look at. There's so many fire distortions out there, but my go-to, my favorite is Rift. So we could slap this on there and go from there, but let's actually carve out some of the highs before this. Another thing I like about Rift here, besides having so many distortion types and being able to add 2 at a time here, to the in and the out, you have this feedback section over here. The other plugin I wanted to mention is RBass. RBass is fire for adding some subtones into the mix here that might not already be present. You can dial in the frequency here and then push up the intensity. You can hear if we go back here, it's going to be much more deep. Let's let a little bit of this come back in. We're going to be going live to go into even more depth on how to make Reese basses and other kinds of basses in Serum 2 on Tuesday, July 1st at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it might be live right now while you're watching this. Go check it out. You can also watch the playlist of all the different drum sounds that we've created from scratch right here.